Emperor Vega cackled as he gazed upon the defenseless blue planet called Earth, knowing his mighty Tholian war fleet would wipe out their puny defenders in an instant. But Vega's laughter suddenly died in his throat as his sensors detected something impossible: human soldiers. The Tholian Empire had conquered countless worlds, exterminating trillions of sentients under Emperor Vega's merciless reign. Earth was to be just another conquest, its people mere insects to be crushed under Tholian boots. Vega's generals and admirals mocked the humans' laughably small military. What could a few million primitive apes do against the galaxy's most powerful war machine? But the humans refused to submit. In a desperate bid to save their species from extinction, Earth cobbled together an elite special forces unit under the grizzled commander Walter Bryant. Handpicked from the best of the best, Bryant's ragtag band undertook an insane mission: infiltrate Tholian space and sabotage the invasion fleet before it launched. As the Tholian armada barreled toward Earth, Bryant's commandos struck, destroying supply depots and communications hubs with surgical precision. The Tholians reeled at humanity's audacity. Vega seethed with rage, ordering a hasty attack to punish the upstart apes. Thousands of Tholian warships descended on Earth, raining down plasma fire and disgorging hordes of bloodthirsty Tholian troopers. But humanity fought back with unmatched ferocity. Bryant's commandos waged a guerrilla war, striking vulnerable Tholian targets, then melting away. Outgunned human defenders held the line in brutal street-to-street fighting. Vega watched in disbelief as his unstoppable army ground to a halt against a species that refused to die. The Tholians faced a terrible choice: withdraw in disgrace or commit to a long, bloody war of attrition. Earth stared down a foe that could scour its surface to bedrock. Tholian and human alike steeled themselves for a no-quarter struggle, where losing meant extinction. An underestimated band of human warriors had bought their world a chance, but only if Bryant's soldiers could weather the firestorm to come. Bryant hunched over the tactical display in his makeshift command center, eyes darting across the holographic projection of the Tholian-occupied moon. A blinking red icon marked the location of the enemy supply depot, their next target. "Lieutenant Thompson, Sergeant Hawkins," Bryant barked. "Gear up. We're hitting that depot hard and fast." The two soldiers nodded, already checking their weapons and strapping on armor. "What's the plan, sir?" Thompson asked. "We've captured a Tholian shuttle. We'll disguise ourselves as Tholians and infiltrate the depot. Once inside, Hawkins will plant the charges while we cover him. Then we blow the place to hell and get out." Hawkins grinned. "I'll bring the big fireworks, Commander." Hours later, the boxy Tholian shuttle descended towards the moon's surface, angling for the sprawling supply depot. Bryant, Thompson, and Hawkins sat in the cockpit, barely recognizable in their stolen Tholian armor. The comms crackled. "Shuttle Zishker, transmit clearance codes," a harsh Tholian voice demanded. Bryant punched in the codes they'd lifted from the shuttle's computer. A tense moment passed. "Codes accepted. You're clear to land in Bay 6. The shuttle touched down inside the depot's cavernous hangar. The humans disembarked, moving with purpose, blending in among the scores of Tholian soldiers and workers swarming the facility. Hawkins lugged a heavy duffel bag filled with advanced human explosives. He placed the charges at critical structural points as Bryant and Thompson stood guard, pulse rifles at the ready. Suddenly, alarm klaxons blared. "Intruders in the depot! All units converge on Bay 6. A Tholian officer had somehow seen through their disguises. Pulse blasts shattered crates as a squad of Tholians opened fire. The humans dove for cover, returning fire with precise bursts. "So much for stealth," Hawkins growled, lobbing a plasma grenade. The explosion sent Tholians flying. "Change of plans!" Bryant shouted over the chaos. "We'll blow the charges remotely once we're clear. Fight your way to the shuttle." The humans leapfrogged from cover to cover, downing Tholians with expert marksmanship. Thompson grappled a Tholian hand-to-hand, snapping its neck with a brutal twist. Waves of Tholians poured into the hangar, threatening to overwhelm the commandos through sheer numbers. Hawkins tossed more grenades, the blasts disorienting the aliens and buying precious seconds. They neared the shuttle, pulse fire stitching the ground around them. A hulking Tholian commander blocked their path, energy sword crackling. It lunged at Bryant, screeching a challenge. Bryant sidestepped the slash and countered with a crushing punch to the Tholian's throat. The alien staggered back, choking. Bryant pressed the attack, pummeling the commander with a lightning-fast combo of kicks and elbow strikes. The Tholian collapsed, gurgling through shattered mandibles. Bryant fired a point-blank shot into its skull. On the shuttle now. Thompson and Hawkins piled in as Bryant leaped aboard. The shuttle rocketed out of the hangar, Tholian plasma fire peppering its hull. "Charges set?" Bryant yelled. "Ready to detonate on your mark," Hawkins reported. "Do it!" The shuttle shuddered as a massive explosion consumed the depot behind them. The fireball blossomed into a miniature sun, utterly vaporizing the Tholian facility and everything inside. As the flames died away, Bryant allowed himself a grim smile. The Tholians would feel that one. A critical link in their supply chain, gone in a flash. News of the victory spread like wildfire through the UEDF. Bryant's daring raid became legend, a shining example of human skill and tenacity against overwhelming odds. Soldiers on the front lines fought with renewed vigor, heartened that they could beat the mighty Tholians. But on his flagship in high orbit, Emperor Vega seethed with apoplectic rage. He slammed a clawed fist onto the arm of his command throne, leaving deep gouges in the chitinous material. "The humans dare strike at us," Vega snarled. "They dare destroy what is ours. This insult demands retribution." The Emperor turned to the towering figure standing at attention nearby. "General Zarlok!" Zarlok stepped forward, his ceremonial battle harness gleaming. "My Emperor, you will take personal command of the next offensive against Earth. Crush the humans' pathetic resistance. Grind their cities to dust beneath your boots. I want their world to burn." The general bowed deeply, his eyes glinting with predatory anticipation. "As you command, my Emperor, these upstart apes will learn the price of defying the Tholian Empire." As the Tholian war machine ground inexorably onward, its sights fixed on Earth, Bryant contemplated the desperate battles to come. Zarlok's reputation preceded him, a master strategist, undefeated in countless campaigns spanning decades. Everything hinged on what happened in the next few days. If the UEDF couldn't hold the line, couldn't find some way to stop Zarlok's onslaught, then humanity's brief, shining moment of resistance would flicker out, and Earth would fall forever to the Tholian jackboot. The humans had bloodied the Tholian's snout, but the beast was now well and truly awake, and it was angry. Bryant and every man, woman, and child on Earth would have to fight with everything they had, and more, to survive the coming storm. The fate of the planet and the species hung by a thread. The cheers of victory echoing through UEDF headquarters were short-lived. As Bryant and his team basked in the glow of their successful raid, alarms blared across Earth's defense network. "Sir, we've got multiple bogies entering orbit," a tech shouted. "It's a Tholian battle group, bigger than anything we've seen before." Bryant rushed to the command center's main view screen. His blood ran cold at the sight of the massive Tholian armada descending on Earth. At its head was a monstrous dreadnought, overflowing with weapons. "That's Zarlok's flagship," Bryant muttered. "Looks like the Emperor's bringing out the big guns." The assault began without warning. Searing beams of energy lanced down from the Tholian ships, carving fiery swaths through Earth's cities. The barrage was relentless, precise, methodical. This was no wild attack. It bore the hallmarks of a master tactician. "Zarlok," Bryant growled. "He's going straight for population centers. The bastard's trying to break our will to fight." Reports flooded in from across the globe. New York, Shanghai, London, reduced to burning rubble in minutes. Millions dead or fleeing for their lives. Bryant clenched his fists. They needed a game changer, and fast. An idea began to form. Insane, suicidal, but possibly their only shot. "Thompson, Hawkins," he barked. "Gear up. We're taking the fight to Zarlok." Hours later, their stealth shuttle slipped past the Tholian blockade, using the chaos of battle as cover. They touched down on a desolate moon where Zarlok had established his forward command post. "Remember," Bryant whispered as they approached the fortress-like structure, "we take Zarlok alive. He's worth more to us as a prisoner." They moved like ghosts through the base's outer defenses, neutralizing Tholian guards with ruthless efficiency. But as they neared the central chamber, all hell broke loose. A dozen elite Tholian warriors pounced from hidden alcoves. Thompson ducked under a vicious swipe, countering with a point-blank burst from his pulse rifle that shredded the alien's carapace. Hawkins grappled with two Tholians at once, his augmented strength allowing him to smash their heads together with a sickening crunch. Bryant fought his way toward the command center, leaving a trail of broken Tholian bodies in his wake. He burst through the doors to find Zarlok waiting. The Tholian general was a towering mass of muscle and chitin, easily twice Bryant's size. He bellowed a challenge and charged. Bryant rolled aside, barely avoiding Zarlok's crushing blow. The human commander knew he couldn't match the Tholian's raw power, but maybe he didn't have to. As they traded blows, Bryant noticed patterns in Zarlok's movements, weaknesses in his seemingly impenetrable defense. The human began to press those advantages, landing quick strikes to vulnerable joints and nerve clusters. Zarlok roared in pain and frustration. He hadn't faced an opponent like this in centuries. The Tholian's strikes became wilder, leaving bigger openings. Bryant seized his chance. He ducked under Zarlok's guard and delivered a devastating combination of blows to the alien's thorax. With a final brutal strike, he drove Zarlok to his knees. "It's over," Bryant panted, leveling his weapon at the Tholian's head. But their victory was short-lived. Alarms blared as Tholian reinforcements swarmed the base. Bryant and his team were trapped, outnumbered 100-1. "Well, this complicates things," Thompson muttered. Bryant's mind raced. Then he saw their way out. He hauled Zarlok to his feet, pressing his gun to the general's head. "Tell your troops to stand down," Bryant growled, "or I'll splatter your brains across this nice, clean floor." Zarlok hesitated, then barked an order in the guttural Tholian language. The advancing soldiers froze. "Good," Bryant said. "Now you're going to walk us out of here. Try anything funny and you die. Got it?" They marched through the base, using Zarlok as a shield. Tholian warriors glared with barely contained rage, but made no move to stop them. Minutes later, they were rocketing away from the moon in their shuttle, prize in tow. Back on Earth, Bryant wasted no time. He threw Zarlok into a holding cell and began the interrogation. The Tholian general sneered, vowing to reveal nothing. But Bryant had done his homework. He knew which buttons to push, which psychological levers to pull. Slowly, steadily, he chipped away at Zarlok's defenses. Days turned to weeks. Zarlok's willpower crumbled. The floodgates opened and vital intelligence poured forth. Fleet deployments, supply lines, command structures. The UEDF wasted no time putting it to use. Surgical strikes crippled Tholian outposts. Supply convoys were ambushed and destroyed. The invaders' once unstoppable advance ground to a halt. Word of Zarlok's capture spread like wildfire through human and Tholian ranks alike. The myth of Tholian invincibility lay shattered. Humanity dared to hope again. In his flagship, high above Earth, Emperor Vega raged at the reports flooding in. The humans were no longer prey to be hunted. They had become hunters themselves. And for the first time in his long reign, Vega felt the icy fingers of fear. Commander Bryant stared at the tactical display, his fists tight. The intelligence from Zarlok had given them a fighting chance, but the next move would be their riskiest yet. "All right, people, listen up," Bryant addressed his strike team. "We're hitting the Dreadnought Omega. This is our shot to gut the Tholian command structure." Lieutenant Thompson and Sergeant Hawkins exchanged glances. They'd pulled off the impossible before, but this was a whole new level of crazy. "Sir, how exactly are we getting aboard?" Thompson asked. Bryant grinned. "We're walking right through the front door." Hours later, their captured Tholian shuttle approached the massive dreadnought. Bryant's fingers tightened on the controls as he punched in Zarlok's access codes. "Shuttle KX Thar requesting docking clearance," Bryant growled in his best imitation of a Tholian voice. Seconds ticked by. Then, clearance granted. Proceed to Bay 17. The team breathed a collective sigh of relief as they glided into the cavernous hangar. As soon as the airlock cycled, they sprang into action. Two Tholian guards barely had time to react before Thompson and Hawkins dropped them with precise shots. The humans moved swiftly through the corridors, neutralizing resistance with brutal efficiency. They fought their way to a computer terminal. Thompson's fingers flew over the alien controls, his brow furrowed in concentration. Got it, he muttered. Bridge is 3 levels up. The team battled through waves of Tholian defenders, pulse rifles spitting death. Bryant ducked under a vicious swipe from a Tholian warrior, countering with a point-blank burst that shredded the alien's carapace. Finally, they reached the bridge. The doors hissed open to reveal a scene of chaos. Tholian officers scrambled for weapons as the humans stormed in. Take them down, Bryant roared. The bridge erupted in a storm of pulse fire and flying bodies. Thompson dove behind a console, popping up to pick off Tholians with surgical precision. Hawkins grappled with a massive Tholian, using his augmented strength to snap the alien's neck. When the smoke cleared, the bridge was theirs. Thompson wasted no time, his hands dancing over the Tholian systems. I'm in, he reported. We've got full control of comms and ship systems. Bryant nodded grimly. Patch me through to the entire Tholian fleet. He took a deep breath, steeling himself. Then he began to speak, his voice echoing across thousands of Tholian vessels. Attention Tholian forces. This is Commander Walter Bryant of Earth. Your flagship has fallen. Your General Zarlok is our prisoner. Your invasion is finished. Bryant's words hit the Tholian ranks like a shockwave. Confusion and disbelief spread like wildfire. On dozens of ships, officers argued, unsure how to proceed. Meanwhile, Hawkins and his demo team worked feverishly, planting charges at critical junctions throughout the massive ship. Suddenly, alarms blared. Sir, Thompson shouted, we've got multiple boarding parties inbound. Bryant cursed. Looks like the Emperor's not giving up without a fight. All hands, prepare to repel boarders. The humans dug in, transforming the bridge into a fortress. When the first wave of Tholians burst through the doors, they were met with a wall of pulse fire. The battle raged for what felt like hours. Bryant's team, though outnumbered, fought with the desperation of men who knew the fate of their world hung in the balance. Finally, Hawkins's voice crackled over the comm. Charges are set. We need to blow this popsicle stand. Bryant nodded grimly. Do it. Explosions rocked the massive ship. Systems failed in cascading waves of destruction. As fires raged and life support failed, Bryant and his team fought their way back to their shuttle. They blasted out of the dying dreadnought, watching as the pride of the Tholian fleet drifted powerless in space. All around them, the UEDF struck hard at the reeling Tholian armada. Bryant allowed himself a small smile. They'd done it. They'd given humanity a fighting chance. But he knew the war was not nearly finished. The Tholians had been bloodied, but they were far from beaten. There would be more battles to come, more sacrifices to make. For now, though, they'd savor this victory. Earth had proven itself a force to be reckoned with, and Commander Walter Bryant had no intention of stopping until every last Tholian invader was driven from human space. Bryant's fingers flew over the holographic display, analyzing the data gleaned from the dreadnought Omega's systems. His eyes widened as he spotted a crucial vulnerability in the Tholian war machine. There, he said, pointing to a pulsing red node on the 3D map. That's their Achilles heel. Lieutenant Thompson leaned in, squinting at the display. A command node? On Titan? Bryant nodded. It's the linchpin of their entire operation. Take it out, and their invasion force crumbles. He turned to face his assembled team, the best of the best. Thompson, Hawkins, and a dozen other hardened UEDF veterans stood at attention, ready for action. Listen up, Bryant barked. We're going to hit the Tholians where it hurts. A surgical strike on their command center. It's on Titan, heavily fortified and crawling with hostiles. Hawkins grinned, hefting his pulse rifle. Sounds like my kind of party, sir. Hours later, their stolen Tholian shuttle pierced Titan's atmosphere. Bryant gripped the controls, his fist clenched as he navigated through the moon's swirling methane clouds. 30 seconds to insertion, he called out. Lock and load, people. The shuttle touched down with a soft thud. Bryant's team poured out, weapons at the ready. The icy landscape of Titan stretched before them, dotted with the angular shapes of Tholian structures. They moved swiftly across the frozen terrain, using rocky outcroppings for cover. Ahead, a Tholian patrol materialized through the haze. Contact, Thompson whispered. 3 o'clock. Bryant raised a fist, signaling his team to halt. The Tholians passed by, oblivious to the human presence mere meters away. As they neared the command center, resistance stiffened. Pulse fire lit up the murky atmosphere as Bryant's forces clashed with Tholian defenders. Push forward! Bryant shouted, downing a Tholian warrior with a burst from his rifle. They fought their way through winding corridors, the air thick with ozone and the screech of dying aliens. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the facility. Sir! Hawkins yelled over the din. We've got company, big company! Through the smoke, Bryant saw a towering figure emerge, Emperor Vega himself, flanked by his elite guard. Vega, Bryant snarled. He leveled his weapon at the Tholian leader. It ends here. Vega's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. He lunged forward with startling speed. Bryant rolled aside, narrowly avoiding Vega's crushing blow. The two leaders traded strikes, a furious dance of human agility against Tholian strength. Around them, the battle raged. Thompson and Hawkins led the UEDF forces, slowly pushing back the Tholian defenders. Bryant ducked under Vega's swing, landing a solid hit to the alien's midsection. Vega staggered, but recovered quickly. You fight well, human, Vega growled, but you cannot stop us. Bryant's response was a flurry of blows, driving Vega back. Watch me, he spat. As they grappled, Bryant spotted an opening. He feinted left, then drove his knee into a weak point in Vega's exoskeleton. The Emperor howled in pain and fury. Hawkins, Bryant shouted. Status on those charges? Almost there, sir, came the reply. Just need a few more minutes. Bryant gritted his teeth, blocking another of Vega's strikes. Make it quick! The fight seemed to last an eternity. Bryant's muscles screamed with fatigue, but he pressed on. Finally, Hawkins' voice crackled over the comm. Charges set. We need to bug out now. Bryant disengaged from Vega, sprinting for the exit. Fall back, he ordered. Everyone out! They retreated under heavy fire. Bryant's heart clenched as he saw Thompson go down, struck by Tholian pulse fire. Jack! He cried, moving to help his friend. Thompson waved him off, his face contorted with pain. Go! I'll hold them off! Bryant hesitated, torn between duty and loyalty. But there was no time. With a final, anguished look at his wounded comrade, he turned and ran. They barely made it clear of the blast radius when Hawkins triggered the charges. The Tholian command center erupted in a massive fireball, taking the heart of the invasion force with it. As they regrouped on their extraction point, Bryant stared back at the smoking ruins. They'd dealt a crippling blow to the Tholians, but the cost had been high. Too high. The journey back to Earth was somber. Bryant's team had little to say, each lost in their own thoughts of the battle and those left behind. As they approached their home planet, Bryant saw the UEDF fleet engaging the now disorganized Tholian armada. Without their central command, the invaders were in disarray. Bryant allowed himself a grim smile. They'd given humanity a fighting chance. Now it was time to finish the job.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.